You're not on the field, court, or ice.
CWall.
You are on the couch. From PG to DC, this is Coaching from the Couch with your host, CWall. Delivering coverage for all DC sports teams from a hometown perspective. Nats, Skins, Mystics, DC United, Washington Wizards, Caps, Bowie State.
My name's CWall, I'm a PG girl. Down for my skins, I don't know if you heard. If you like watching sports, then I am your girl. Sit down on the couch if you're not on the field. Cold on the ice, pick any sport that you want. Know that I cover it tight. What would you like? From baseball to football and more. The list can go on the whole night. Big shouts out to my HBCU fam. Never forget who I am through the wins and the losses, the highs and the lows. We gotta stay strong, so I stay 10 toes. Make the competition back. The way I kick it, make 'em mad, man. CWall and we live and direct. Sit back on the couch and relax. Come on.
Happy Thursday, everybody. Welcome to Coaching from the Couch. We are live down at the Wharf, 87 TV Network. Happy Thursday to everybody. You guys, I'm smiling. Holding on to dear life, but I'm smiling. Listen, maybe we need to take Thanksgiving breaks more often. I think the Redskins like Thanksgiving break. Hell or hell? Oh, hell, because they won. I had to remember they won. Got a little two-game win streak going on with them. Who do they think they are? Acting like a football team. How dare them? The audacity of them to even try it at this point. Listen, you guys, we got a lot to talk about. First of all, it's been 2 weeks, and clearly a lot can happen in 2 weeks because I didn't even want to talk about listen, I got a lot to talk about. When do we not have a lot to talk about? We always have a lot to talk about. But the Redskins was losing last time I saw y'all. Now they got the nerve to win 2 more games. 2 more than I thought they would. And then it's just other stuff going on as well. Before we get started, I have to thank you all for being here and remind you to please do not forget to share the show with your DMV sports loving family and friends. You guys, listen, when is there a dull moment in this area, in the sports? Never, absolutely ever is there a dull moment. It's just impossible. And I know my guy John Adams was very happy to hear me say something nice about the Redskins so early. And Joy is here and she's happy, and Gerard, I think his team is the NFC East team, but they about like us, so it's all right. But we gonna go ahead and move on. You all make sure you're sharing the show. Welcome to everybody who is joining us. So we're going to keep this thing going. First things first, you guys. Last time I saw you all, we were shouting out Bowie State. And Bowie State University Bulldogs football team again. Congratulations on an awesome season. They did lose. That Saturday in the first round of the playoffs to Carson Newman. But let me tell you something. They got a lot to build on. There's nothing to be disappointed about. I mean, that's easier said than done, right? Because everybody always wants to win. But kudos to the coaches, the players, the village that supports these young men. It was quite a ride. But I'm going to tell you, Carson Newman was ready for him. They were absolutely ready for him. Bowie had the opportunity like 4 or 5 times down there in the red zone to score, and they got stopped. I believe 2 out of that 5 were picks. And even though Jerome Johnson had a wonderful game, Carson Newman's defense just had something for him. So, high-powered, high-scoring Bowie State offense was limited to 9 points. So shout out to Carson Newman. Ain't no hate. It's all love. As Coach Damon Wilson said in the post game interview, Carson Newman has been in the playoffs, 26 times. It's 26 seasons. So that is where Bowie sees themselves. They want to be the next, Carson Newman, or a team that's, for years you just know that they're going to make it to the playoffs. So, of course, we always want to win everything, but they want to see our AA championship again, and all of that is wonderful. But we did have to come back to that was it. That was it. But it was all good though, all good. Want to say the Carson Newman didn't have any turnovers that game. They were heavy. They played a great game. They were ready. I can't win. Hey, when you are ready and it really looks like you came prepared for that game, I'm not mad at you. I'm like, hey, listen. That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to be ready. It's playoff football. Everything changes when it's the playoffs. And so that's exactly what happened. They were ready for playoff football. Not that Bowie State was not. Let me not say that. It was just that, hey, somebody's got to win and somebody's got to lose. And typically whomever is the most prepared for their opponent on that day is who's going to come away with the W. And it was clear that Carson Newman was that team. No shade at all from me, because I'm just happy about, the whole entire season. Now, I got to move on to Maryland Terps football. At this point, I don't know what their season, I don't know what the final record was. But you know what I do? We're going to talk about them a bit more, perhaps in the springtime, when we start thinking spring training and seeing where the different recruits will end up. But redshirt sophomore running back Anthony McFarland did opt to enter the NFL draft. So that is new news. So, hey, he's going to forego his remaining eligibility, as he absolutely has that right and can do so. So nothing but the best of luck to him for sure. Along with McFarland, junior running back Javon Leake also declared for the draft this week. So, I ain't mad. You cannot be. So kudos. There were definitely some Big Ten selections from the season. A few of the Terps football players did get honored in that. So kudos to everybody. All you can do is go up from here. Let's just hope that. All you can do is go up from here and use it as a learning experience and see what happens next year. It's definitely a learning experience. You can learn a lot from losing. Who said that you couldn't learn anything from a loss? Moving on to the winning Terps team. Listen, how about them daggone? I can't remember. Listen, I might need some more. Here we go. How about those Maryland Terp basketball? 9-0 right now. And listen, I posted something. I was like, "Has anybody noticed?" And you got a couple people that like, "Oh, well, they'll choke in the tournament." Listen. Hey, listen. Can we just enjoy this 9-0 undefeated? I mean, they're gonna lose at some point. We all know that. I mean, it's perhaps they could go undefeated all season, but the odds of that happening are slim. But listen, Maryland basketball got a good thing going over there, you guys. I think they might mean a little bit of business, and I'm excited. Definitely. Hey, listen, my girl T is on here. Terps basketball, they on point. You cannot just ignore what we're seeing. We're seeing good, balanced basketball. We're seeing a team who has developed even from last season, and there's quite a bit of depth. One of the recurring themes right now with the Terps is the amount of depth they have on that team. I'm enjoying it a great deal. I mean, of course, people always say, who they play that's good. Well, at this point, there's what? We've had, let me check. We've seen four of the top teams. We've seen Duke, Michigan State, North Carolina, and Gonzaga go down to teams that I don't even really remember who it was. I think Duke went down to Stephen F. Austin. I think North Carolina went down to Evansville. Or was that Kentucky? Somebody, I don't know. We don't know. No shade to those teams, but they're not in the top, right? So when folks ask that question, and they usually are, so when folks ask that question, well, who have they lost to or who have they played that's good? My response to that is they beat who they were supposed to. Because if you're not considered a good team, well, then, hey, we should just handle you accordingly. That's how I look at that. It becomes an issue when you start losing to the teams that's like, who are they? So they're winning the games they are supposed to win. They won the Orlando Invitational Tournament over the weekend. To win that tournament, they had to play Harvard, Temple, Marquette. And that win, along with the other top team losses, has the Maryland Terrapins ranked number 3 in the nation. That's pretty good. It's actually outstanding. I'm with it. I'm here for it. And I'm completely enjoying it. Oh. Got to say what's up to Lonnie. Because we talking Terps, baby. And they doing something splendid. I'm just loving what I'm seeing from Morcell, from Cohen, from all just the energy. And what Coach Turgeon is able to do, we saw it this weekend, it really looked like he was limiting some of the numbers that, the minutes that players were playing. He was able to keep the rotations going pretty much. The rotations were short. And so everybody saw a bit of time out there on the court. And I'm thinking that that's key, very key to seeing their depth and seeing them where they are strong. And I'm loving it. Shout out to Anthony Cohen Jr. for winning Orlando Invitational Tournament MVP. That's good. He had a career high 30 points against Temple, which he surpassed his 1,500 career points, moving up to number 18 on Maryland's all-time scoring list. Cohen ain't trying to make an impact, is he? Trying to leave his mark. Say, y'all need to know something. I was here. And don't forget about it. But listen, totally different year, totally different look, and I like it. So Saturday, they are playing Illinois at home, and we shall certainly see what happens. If you're unable to make it to the game in person, you can watch it on ESPN2. So make sure you are tuned in to the Terps. Listen, remember when I told y'all, hey, y'all, listen, the Mystics on to something. Y'all better go to a game. You better tune in. This is what I'm saying about the Terps. The Terps are on to something. Go check out a game. Go support your home team. Because I'm not mad at all about any of it. You know what I'm saying? Like John Adams said, you beat who's in front of you. You beating who's there. You beating who you supposed to beat. You can't be mad about that. My guy Cameron Mingo has joined us. And so we're wrapping up the Terps conversation, Cameron. And we are moving on to, because I got to talk about this. I have to talk about this. I like to try to stay on the positive tip, but we got to talk about Georgetown basketball. So a bit of drama with Georgetown, unfortunately, this week, with 3 of the team players accused of burglary. It's a lot of stuff going on, from Josh LeBlanc, Myron Gardner, and Jalen Alexander, all accused of alleged burglary, according to a civil complaint that was filed last month. So by now, I'm thinking everybody has probably heard a bit about the allegations. If you have not, definitely chime in on the comment box below and let us know. but there are assault charges involved as well. So this is not good. What I appreciated though is Coach Patrick Ewing making a statement. Of course, the athletics department made a statement, but Coach Ewing made a statement as well and said, reassured everyone that the issue is being taken seriously and that players are subject to the same code of conduct as any other student. So which is big. And, of course, he says that he expects the highest standard of conduct of his players, and they're not given any special treatment because, of course, when we're talking athletes at universities, it's the first thing that comes up. Oh, because they're basketball players, football players, stars of the team, they get a pass. And Coach Ewing assures, no, there's no passes given. This is serious, and it is, and it will be handled accordingly. So I know it has since come out that some of the players have intended to transfer, Josh LeBlanc being one of them, that he would not play for the rest of the season because he was pulled. He intends to transfer. So we'll see what happens. I was a bit, and I think they're saying James Akinjo is thinking about, I'm about to say retirement, not yet, transferring as well. And the other night, Georgetown, they beat Oklahoma State in a convincing manner, at least convincing from what I could see. And it was just unfortunate. I thought this was very unfortunate because I really thought that Georgetown was turning the corner, the program as a whole. Georgetown been down in the dumps for a minute now. So they needed a boost. And so it was looking like, the program, and this is still nothing against the program, but at the same token, this hurts. This hurts the team. It hurts the reputation. It hurts the school, right? Georgetown University being the prestigious institution that it is. And so it's just, as John Adams is saying here, it's a little discombobulated. Yes, it is. It's a bit all over the place, the entire story. But it's happening. And it's being addressed accordingly. But I was happy to see that the team is still performing at a good level. And so we'll see what happens. We'll see if Coach Ewing can keep these guys focused for those that are transferring or those who are unable to play for the remainder of the season. Let's see, how it works. And even for them as players, as athletes, as Tia just commented, those charges, like that hurt their appeal to other schools as well. It might have been cool to transfer. It might have looked good in the beginning, and then it was like, wait a minute, we don't want to deal with that. Even if they're found innocent, unfortunately, as Joy just said in the room, it will be there. That stain will be there. So we'll see what happens. That's all we can do is see what happens. But on the court, Georgetown's still looking very solid. I'm not saying that they're, looking like Maryland. I'm not saying that, but they are. I'm still having high hopes and feeling that they are solid and that this is an obstacle, a bump in the road for them, but that they will get past it. I'm going to rock with it like that and stay positive because that's all I know how to do. Really quick, I just want to shout out the Caps. Got to shout out the Caps because the Caps are red hot right now. 30 games into the season, they are 21-4-5. We've talked about this a bit on the show before about just their offensive depth. Shout out to John Carlson. What's gotten into John Carlson out here scoring all these goals? I'm going to ask him next time I see him. But I appreciate it. All the Caps fans, everybody, we all are very appreciative. We are seeing them heat it up. Heat it up. They're bringing the heat on ice. I like that. I just made that up while I was sitting here talking to y'all. But always. But listen, even Braden Holtby, remember a few weeks ago, was a little concerned about Holtby. I said, I've been backwards and forwards with him. He is a solid backup now, and that helps him out a bit. But they're both doing a great job. They're both keeping each other honest, and they're doing what they're supposed to do. in front of the goal. That's all you can ask for. All you can ask for is for everyone to do their job and doing what they're supposed to do and being prepared for their opponent. But offensively, I have got to continue to say this. The Caps are performing at a very high level offensively. It is extremely impressive to me. Like, what, come on. You know what I'm saying? Like, that is just a big deal. I mean, because in hockey is a low scoring game. So when you see these hockey players, I mean, and this is consistently, they're getting up in the goal. So when you see consecutive games over like 3 and 4 points, yes, that's impressive out there on that ice. Has anybody ever tried to chime in if you ever tried to play hockey? I mean, none of it is easy. Let's be for real. Down there broke down. Please don't go down to Georgia. Please don't do it. Please do not do it.
Speaking of ice skating rink.
They will have an ice skating rink down here at the wharf. Actually, they have now as well. It just opened up today. The Capitals Campfire. So right out here, it's the Capitals Winter Wonderland. I think you can make like s'mores and do all that fun stuff. When we leave here, we might go tip out there and take a few pictures and see what's going on. But the ice rink will be out here January 18th, 31st, and February 17th. Of course, we'll remind you guys. You know we are going to remind you all. Yo, I'm glad I saw this. This is the Nats topic. You all get ready. We're about to talk about the Washington Nationals, okay? Because let me quote it correctly to make sure I know exactly who said it. Because I don't want to sit up here and say somebody said something that they did not say. So hold on. I thought so. Mark Lerner has already come out and said we cannot afford both Strauss and Rendon. Which we already, I mean, let's not act like this is new news or shocking. I have them keeping Rendon over Strauss. I just don't want them to lose them both. Regardless of World Series championship, one of them has to stay. And I don't know. I mean, there's rumors all over the place, everybody. They said Rendon met with the Texas Rangers. Of course, there's been rumors about him wanting to go back home to Texas. And they're saying the same thing about Strauss, right? That he wants to go back to San Diego. He wants, somewhere out in Cali. So they are, and rightfully so. I also don't want folks to feel like they are shocked by the fact that Strauss and Rendon, they are at the top of their game right now. They are at the right. They're it. They're the hot names. They're at the peak of their profession, especially coming off of this championship win. And of course, folks are going after them. I mean, they're sought after. They're hot commodities. They really are. So I'm not shocked at all that they're catching the interest that they are. They should be. If I was the owner of another team, I would want both of them. But we'll see what happens. The hope then, of course, right? If the team can't afford both of them, then it becomes is somebody going to take lower money than they're worth? I don't know what that means. I don't know if they would. I don't even know if they should. But technically, you don't have to. You don't have to. If it's about the money, you don't have to. And at this point, guess what? You're a champion. For the rest of your career, for the rest of your professional career, you are a champion. So if you don't win another championship, it doesn't matter because you're a champion. And you're a champion technically for the next year, regardless of who you play for. So I don't know what's going to win. I have no.
That is a appeals to the Nationals. There's always money.
There's always money from somewhere. I'm sure if you pass the collection plate, the fans will say, hey, listen, this one is for Rendon and this one is for Strauss, and we've collected enough money to put something down on the table and say, help us out. Stick around just a bit more. And to John's question in the comments, who's more valuable? Well, we heard the team say, even at the pep rally, all in favor of Anthony Rendon saying, say aye. Aye, everybody raise their hand, okay? I'm just not, I'm calling that out because clearly there is a want really for him. I think folks are anticipating Strauss leaving. So it's like, okay, like I said, we can't lose both of them. But I think if folks had to choose, I could easily see folks choosing Rendon over Strauss. But hey, you all comment. But great pitchers are few and far between. But clutch hitters to keep the game going. Anthony Rendon is a beast. He's a monster. And, I was getting ready to buy up all the Strasburg jerseys in America after that Game 6 performance he did. I was ready to I was on Amazon. I was on everywhere. Like, lock it down. Put it in my cart. Because, yeah, if he would have pitched that entire game, I would have been like, we already won. All of them in America. All of them. Mine. CWall. Slap the CWall logo on it. Listen, we'll see what happens. Stay tuned. To be continued. Strauss and Rendon. For the remaining time, I always grace you all with the Redskins conversation. And to be very honest with you, much like any other week, I don't have anything. I don't have much to say. But yet, while I don't have much to say, I always end up talking about them a lot. Had to move my laptop out my way a little forward. But let me start out by saying, so when was this? Where are we? Where are we? They just beat the Panthers. Nothing gets you fired other than losing to the Redskins. I was kind of sad that the Panthers fired Ron Rivera. I was like, good God. I like him. This is a very nice man. What in the world? Dang. But that's not what I wanted to talk about. Who they beat? The Lions and then the Panthers. And then, of course, the reports came out about the harsh conversation that Bill Callahan had with his team the night before the Lions game, which really, in all honesty, should have happened back in September, but better late than never, it occurred. And I tell folks all the time, it's just like they say in that meme, nothing, it means nothing. Words mean anything. Changed behavior does. And in that instance, we saw several changes on that team. The most important change to me was behavior. Players whose names had not been called the entire season, now their names are being called in a positive way. They're making the big plays. They are protecting the quarterback accordingly. They are, they're just stopping who they're supposed to stop. They're tackling. Oh my gosh. You do that in football? Yes, they do. And at 3 wins, do you know that the Redskins can still potentially make the playoffs? Let me say this.
Of course we can.
Of course, because they're the Redskins and nothing, stranger things have happened, everybody. But listen here. Nobody is tanking for a draft position, okay? I want to say this loud and clear. It does not happen in professional sports. Not intentionally. Not intentionally. As you can see, there are coaches getting fired for losing. We only got a few more weeks. And there are people losing their jobs for losing. And then we see teams like the Bengals still trying to get a win and did. Because at the end of the day, folks need to remember, even if you go to another team, right? Your game film speaks for you. So why are we, if you're not playing right, your game film, somebody's got to step up. And this is how these guys eat. This is a job. So they're not going to go and intentionally screw up for a draft position. That's not how it works. So I just want everybody to know that so that they are aware. That's not how it works, okay? Sorry, Nonetheless, now to Cameron's point. Oh, Cameron, I didn't say they were going to the playoffs. Let me be very clear. I didn't say that. All I'm saying is that based on the stats and the percentages, they actually could.
They got a shot.
They actually have a shot.
The Nationals had a shot.
The Nationals had a shot. And you see what they did with their shot. But I'm not at all saying they're making the playoffs. I'm not saying that. But that's just how it goes. Any given Sunday, any given game day, we shall see. Truth be told, had the Cowboys won a couple games ago, the Redskins would have been out. But the Cowboys been losing, so that's how now. Yeah. So this is how things are shaking out in the NFC East. I don't know what to say about them other than when sometimes you got to call people out and you got to call them to the carpet to get the best out of them. On top of then putting people in the positions to be effective. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what we're saying. Ain't no think about it. I know that's what we're saying. You got called out. You know what I'm saying? You got called out. You're getting too many penalties. You're not doing what you're supposed to do. Various things that can be said directly to a player to ignite the right fire in him or her to get them doing what they need to be doing. And that's what we saw happen. And we'll see what happens. To Andre's point, I mean, hey, Green Bay, it's Aaron Rodgers. It is what it is. I mean, what I can say, though, the rest of the season is what it is. I do want to shout out Kevin O'Connell. Because, again, people got to get put in a position, perform or else. What you going to do? And what I like is that they're actually showing variety. It made my heart smile. Finally. Thank the Lord you are finally using Geis and Adrian Peterson. Thank you. Because that seemed like it was a difficult thing to figure out. It's not a difficult thing to figure out if you're trying to win a football game. Okay? Put folks in. And oh, by the way, Fabian Moreau plays outside corner. Why do you have him in the slot? He's not effective in the slot. He plays outside. Oh, well, what do you know? You put him on the outside, and here we go. Wow. Do what you get paid to do, and what do we say all the time? Do your job. Do your job. You're here. You're playing at the highest level. You can do it. I love, going back to Kevin O'Connell, that he's calling a game that is bringing variety and a bit of creativity. If we see Haskins miss a throw, here's what I do really, really like about this. If we see Haskins miss a throw, he's not afraid to make that same throw. He gonna get Terry at some point. He gonna get Kelvin Harmon at some point. He gonna get him. And shout out to the young guys. Shout out to McLaurin, Harmon, to Geis. Shout out. because they out here moving. Cole Holcomb, I can't say enough about Cole Holcomb on defense, okay? That Lions game, he was all over the field. I loved it. Absolutely loved every bit of it. So I don't know what's going to happen. I'm watching the games like you guys. But, just compete. You're not going to win them all. Nobody does. Do your job well. I'm not saying everybody's got to go to the Pro Bowl, but just act like you know how to play football, like you've been playing it since you were a kid. They're making touchdowns. Ooh, what in the world? For a minute there, I didn't know they could. They're back. They're back. They're back. They're back. And they're back from a just you got to go out here and play perspective. Go out here and play. Because your game film, like I will continue to say, your game film speaks for you. So even if you didn't want to be a Redskin, even if you got cut on Monday after Sunday's game, somebody's going to go and look at your game film and say, do you bring him in for, go ahead and pass. You know how many penalties he got? We ain't got time for that. It's the end of the season and we trying to make a run. Because at the end of the season, teams out here trying to make a run. And keep their job. Okay? Never forget that part of it. They got to keep their job, okay? Kudos to them. Hottest team in the NFC East right now. 3 wins. 1, 2, 3. All right. With that being said, because we're over our time, we've had way too much fun with you guys this evening. But you guys, listen, make sure you continue to share the show and join us on Thursday. We will be here through the holidays. So, you guys, we will be talking to you next week.
You're not on the field, court, or ice. You are on the couch. From PG to DC, this is Coaching from the Couch with your host, CWall, delivering coverage for all DC sports teams from the hometown perspective. Nats, Skins, Mystics, DC United, Washington Wizards, Caps, Bowie State.
My name's CWall, I'm a PG girl. Down for my skins, I don't know if you heard. If you like watching sports, then I am your girl. Sit down on the couch if you not on the field. Cold on the ice, pick any sport that you want. Know that I cover it tight. What would you like? From baseball to football and more. The list can go on the whole night. Big shouts out to my HBCU fam. Never forget who I am through the wins and the losses, the highs and the lows. We gotta stay strong, so I stay 10 toes. Make the competition back. The way I kick it, make 'em mad, man. CWall and we live and direct. Sit back on the couch and relax. Come on.